And now, Brandon Six Boy Schaub.
Yes, sir. Monday morning, October 20th. It is October 20th. I would like to say it's getting chillier here in Austin, Texas. It's not. It's not. They said it was a cold front, but it was straight up 85 yesterday. Not terrible. Mornings and nights aren't too bad. Spent all weekend at the baseball diamond, baby. Nowhere better. Nowhere better. Kids didn't show up this weekend. They're tired. Football and baseball is winding down. Well, really just football. So you had kids playing football all day. Then we had a late game. We had a 6 o'clock game and an 8:30 game at night on Saturday. I didn't leave the field with tea till 10:45 at night. Because we played so crappy. We got the first draw on Sunday, so then we had to be up at 5 a.m. for a 7 o'clock warm up. It was a beast, dudes. It was a beast. All good. Nothing better. Nothing better. Fight wise, my lord, you got a lot going on. You got a whole lot going on. You have a pay-per-view this Saturday. Not a ton of buzz about it. It is in the afternoon. What time does it start here, Chin?
1 p.m. our time, Central.
1 p.m. Not mad at that. Definitely going to miss it. Definitely have to watch from my phone. Because we had another tournament this weekend. So I'll have to watch it from the stands. 1 p.m. is not terrible, though. Better than super late. The super late ones usually I can make, but yeah, this one, I'm curious how it's going to do on pay-per-view. There's really no pay-per-view stars. No one's like crush it. Those Conor McGregor pay-per-view star days are over. So what with this business model, what even is a pay-per-view stars? You know, they're ditching that model, so now it's just good fights, and there's good fights on this card. You got the heavyweight championship of the world, even though none of us in the game really call it that, because you have John Jones out there, you got Francis Ngannou still out there, and this is such a shame for Tom Aspinall. It's completely out of his control, which we'll get to. Cyril Gane, Cyril Gane hasn't showed up in championship fights. Obviously lost to Francis, obviously lost to John. He kind of seizes up when the title's on the line. So I don't know why you would think otherwise. He definitely has a chance to win this fight. He's big, super athletic, probably the only guy more athletic than Tom Aspinall. Pound for pound, probably better striking overall than Tom, but doesn't hit as hard. Doesn't have the one-shot KO power, really. I mean, as a heavyweight, if guys come forward, you land it right, any heavyweight can knock anybody out. But as far as like that straight up touch from God, put him to sleep power, that's not Cyril Gane. Tom has that. Co-main event, you got your girl.
My girl.
You got your girl.
Verna, right?
Yep, Verna. Yeah, Verna fighting Mackenzie Dern. Listen, I'm just going to call it like it is. The UFC, they don't really play favorites. But if you don't think the UFC is praying to the MMA gods that Mackenzie Dern becomes champion, you don't know the sport. They are just like, we don't ask for much. We don't ask for much. They're asking for two things right now. Dear God, please don't let John Jones relapse and get in a car accident and do something crazy and miss the White House card. They're praying for that. And they're probably, on a side note, also Conor McGregor, please make sure he's healthy as well for the White House card. But number two behind those two is, please let Mackenzie Dern win this fight and be the face of the women's strawweight division. Dear God, she checks every single box. She checks every skilled, check, world class on the ground. Experience, check. Looks, check. So she's a complete packaged, all button up in one. And we need stars. And this Paramount deal's coming up. And she's a mom, and she's only getting more attractive as a mother. And it's her time.
Yeah. She's glowing these days.
Yeah, that's that mama bear effect, man. So the UFC is on their hands and knees praying to the fight gods that Mackenzie Dern pulls this off. Now, they fought before. I think it was 5 years ago during COVID, 2020. Mackenzie Dern won, close decision. They've both gotten a lot better. There's a reason Mackenzie Dern's a favorite in this fight. Ooh, she needs this one. Yeah, was it 2020? Yep. Yeah. That was no crowd, COVID time. She got it done. They've both gotten a lot better. And Verna's been on a freaking tear lately. She won like 5, 6 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. Yeah, the UFC needs her to win. You got to have her face.
Hey,
You need her.
you said the face.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
Hey, you know what
I know what you're saying.
They need her to win. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista. That fight's gonna be closer than I think that the odds makers are predicting that fight to be. I think Mario's like a plus 450 or some shit, which is crazy. It's a good card overall. Plus 400. I think that fight's gonna be closer than we think. Mackenzie Dern, slight favorite, 166. The one that's surprising, Tom Aspinall 380, that makes sense. Mackenzie Dern minus 166. Hopefully she pulls that off. Almeida and Volkov. That one is, I didn't see Almeida being that big of a favorite. Minus 218 is a little wild for that one. Ooh, rat kick. Basically even money. Minus 102, minus 118. Great main card, though. Probably will do awful on pay-per-view, but I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. Here's the thing with Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gane. So, and this has nothing to do with Tom Aspinall. It's completely out of his control. The heavyweight division has never been worse, and he's the king of the shitty division. He's the king, but no one's given him his due because of that. Because if you bring up Tom's record there, Jen, Tom is the king of this division that's kind of boring. There's not a lot of contenders. He's beat everybody in the first round. Andrei Arlovski, But so he's starching these guys. But the issue with Tom, again, not his fault. The issue with Tom is his strength of schedule. So we all know Tom's good. We all know Tom is the best we have to offer. If this is 10 years ago, where's Tom at? We don't know, because the guys he's beating, if you've been around the sport long enough, the heavyweight division is the weakest division. So, it's like in a gold medal in the Special Olympics right now. So there's not much we can say about it. The verdict is still out on Tom. He's the best we have. What's that mean? We don't know. He's starching everybody, but the guys he's starching, would they even be ranked in the top 10 if this is, 8-10 years ago? Probably not. So again, not Tom's fault. He can only fight who's in his division, who the contenders, how they do. So we know he's good, but the reason why he's not getting his due is because we really haven't seen him get compromised in any facet. We haven't seen him go past the first round and not dominate. That Arlovski fight ended early in the second round, but he was in control the whole time. So we don't know how Tom's going to react when he gets taken down or when he gets clipped. We don't know. We don't know. So that's why everyone's not. Now, a lot of people are, but there's a reason why the public hasn't been like, yes, that's the end all be all. He's the best in the world. Because unfortunately for Tom, they let Francis get away. And Francis was champ. So we don't know how Francis and Tom would have gone down. We don't know. People can kind of take a guess, but no one really knows. We don't know how Tom would do against John Jones. We don't know. So unfortunately for Tom, until he faces those adversaries, he's never going to get his due. Again, completely out of his control. It's not normal. It's not right. This poor dude, they've made him an interim champ. They had him freaking wait forever for John just for it not to happen. Then you get a fight nobody's really asking for. And here's what happens with all this. With Tom versus Cyril Gane, there's so much pressure on Tom. And this is why. Because not only does Tom have to fight this monster, right? Cyril Gahn's a fucking monster, so athletic. Obviously, he has a lot of holes in his game, but on the feet, the dude can fucking strike. Not only do you have to beat the number one contender, but you have to do it more impressively than John Jones did. That's the pressure Tom Aspinall's against. Winning, if you win by decision, it's disaster. If it gets dragged out into the third, fourth round, disaster. Tom Aspinall's challenge this weekend, because again, it's not his fault, but because he hasn't faced the toughest competition, the marker here is win. Of course, dude, you're heavily favored. No. Of course you got to win. You have to do it more impressively than John Jones did, because this is the only opponent you guys have in common that now the public can go, okay, well, they did fight this guy. John beat him in, I think, 2 minutes. Choked him out in 2 minutes. Tom not only has to, imagine this pressure. Tom not only has to beat Cyril Gahn, who's an absolute fucking French nightmare, but he has to do it more convincingly than John Jones. He has to do it faster and more impressive. So whether it's a knockout right away or he takes him to the mat right away, you have to beat him in under 2 minutes and go. Unfortunately, that's what Tom's dealing with. That's what Tom's dealing with. It sucks. Because, again, if Tom wins via second round submission, but he struggles a little bit, it doesn't do much for him. Even though he gets this win, defends his title, doesn't do much for him. The public's going to go, yeah, but John made him look like he's freaking a white belt, dude. You struggled? That's what you're dealing with. So I think for the first time, not only is Tom expected to win, he's the favorite to win, but you're expected to absolutely dominate the way John Jones did. He can do it. He can do it. And I know he knows that pressure's there. So already the fans are going, yeah, he's going to beat Cyril Gahn. Yeah, but can he do it under 2 minutes? And can he look more impressive than John? Because again, if he struggles, the John fight's already kind of in the distance. What Alex did kind of leapfrog Tom. It's just the world we live in. It's not up to me. We all want to see Alex versus John. It is what it is. Sorry. But if Tom struggles against Cyril Gahn, that's never happening. If he struggles against Cyril Gahn, there goes any rumors or any gossip around the water cooler that he would beat Francis, that he'd beat John, for that fact, even beat Alex. It sucks. But that's just the world we live in. So not only do you have to beat the number one ranked heavyweight in the world, but you have to do it under 2 minutes and not get touched. And go. Talk about pressure. But maybe Tom's that guy. Maybe he's as good as advertised. I'm not saying he's not. The only knock on Tom, and it's tough to find anything, is some of his defense. He leads with his chin. You know, there's some holes there when it comes to his stand-up, when it comes to the defensive tactics there. He looks a little exposed at times. Now, maybe he just doesn't have respect for the guys he's fighting, which I can understand, and just is like, then I can do shit. Watch this. There's that. Or it is an issue when he fights elite competition. Because, again, if he goes in there and it's 30 seconds in and Cyril Gahn lands some crazy left hook or right hand and wobbles him, nightmare. Even if he were to take him down, choke him out in under 2 minutes, but you get clipped, nightmare. Then the chatter starts, and it's loud. It's loud for Tom. You know? So for the first time, you have a guy who's your champ, but because the UFC fumbled the bag with Francis, because they fumbled the bag with John Jones, no one really accepts him as champ, and it fucking sucks, dude. It's not the way this should go down, because he literally, he's the best we have so far. Even though it's this weak-ass competition, he's the champ, man. But no one's really believing that. No one's believing it. So it's his job, unfortunately, because the UFC fumbled the bag on 2 huge fights for him. Not only does he have to win, but he has to beat him more impressively than John Jones beat Cyril Gane. The chips are stacked against Tom. It's a bit of a disaster. But that's the state of the heavyweight division. Because if Tom goes on there, let's say he fucking mollywops Cyril Gane. Let's say he just hits him with the right hand, comes out like a banshee, beats him in 30 seconds, gets on the mic, and is like, John, you ain't shit. See you at the White House. Boom. Now we're cooking with gas. Because if he struggles a little bit and calls out John, everyone's like, get the fuck out of here. Even though he beat the number one guy. Talk about stress, dude. You know? Let's take a little break here, kids. Picture this. It's midnight. You're laying in bed, scrolling this new website you found, hitting the add to cart button and the item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decide you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. You remember that your wallet card is in the living room. You don't want to get out of bed and go get it just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart. That's when you see it, that purple shop button. That thing is magic. That shop button that has all of your payment and shipping info saved, saving you time while you stay warm in your cozy bed. That's Shopify. There's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes everything easier, from checkout to creating your own storefront. Cha-ching, it's Shopify, baby. If you've shopped online, chances are you've bought from businesses powered by Shopify. All right. And you know that purple shop pay button you see at checkout? That's the one thing that makes buying so incredibly easy. That's Shopify. So if you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head on over to Shopify. Cha-ching! Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Schaub, all lowercase, SCHAUB, shopify.com/Schaub. Cha-ching!
What about in this scenario? What if he's like, it's like 50-50 going into like, I don't know, fourth or fifth round?
Disaster.
But what if Tom has this crazy knockout at that point?
Doesn't matter. Has to do it faster and more impressively than John Jones. Because you get a crazy knockout in 4 rounds, but I'm like, bud, it took you 4 rounds? It took you 20 minutes? John did it in 2. And you think you can beat John? Mm-hmm. He's kind of in a no-win situation unless he completely dominates him in under 2 minutes. The level of difficulty is super high for Tom right now. He can do it, though. He can do it. It's just the verdict's still out on him, but this is the closest we're going to get to comparing him to these greats, because Francis beat him on one leg and out-grappled him, and then John completely just big brothered him. Look, okay, you striker, cool, get against the cage. Here's a fucking amateur bulldog choke. So that's what he's dealing with. Sucks. And then if it's not John or Alex, it's like, who the fuck you want to see? They put Volkov and Almeida on there for a reason, just in case the John stuff and Alex stuff goes left. So they're on there for a reason. But again, that ain't no fucking main event barn burner, you know? The heavyweight division is tough, man. It's tough right now. So yeah, add that to the UFC getting down on their knees and praying. Tom Aspinall gets it done. It also puts a lot of pressure on the UFC to make something happen big for him. Because if Tom does his job and gets it done in under 2 minutes and looks more impressive than John, you can't toss him the winner of Volkov Almeida. What the fuck? And then just have him fight one of those guys next year on some random card. We have the biggest card ever coming up at the White House, and all you're doing is, jacking off John and Alex. That ain't cool. So it's going to force UFC's hand where they're like, okay, we can do John and Alex. That's the fight the casuals definitely want. But then also Francis is out there. It's a possibility. And if he looks so good against Cyril Gane, we can't toss him the winner of Volkov Almeida. That ain't right to do, Tom. We fucked him over how long now? We got to get this Francis deal done. So it kind of forces the UFC's hand. But it doesn't force anything if he wins by decision, late in the 4th, late in the 3rd, late in the 2nd. You got to dominate in order to make all this happen. It ain't right, but it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. He had a fight night this weekend, jumping off of 321 real quick. Interesting fight night. He had some referee issues. It's always going to be an issue. Here's the thing. Refereeing, judging we'll put to the side for now, but refereeing in general in every sport's an issue. NFL, every game, there's a questionable call. MLB, shit happens. The refs at my son's freaking travel ball tournament, these fucking dudes, I mean, they're like 19. Just want to get out of there. It was a complete shit show. Point is, at every level, reffing has always been an issue. It's more of an issue in combat sports, I think, again, because it is newer compared to these other sports. And there's not a lot of people that want to be refs. So you just have the same guys over and over. And like Big Dan, who I love, Big Dan, but you know, made an issue. Thought he heard the horn, didn't. There's no accountability. Nothing ever happens. So why would they change, or why would they be like, oh man, I really got to focus there? Because they don't have to answer to anybody. Not media, not the fan base, not Dana, even the commission. They just do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's an issue. And with Mike Mallet and Kevin Holland, you know, he kicks him in the nuts. I told you guys that all this is very easy to fix. There should be no gray. There's no warnings. If you kick a guy in the nuts, it's an automatic point deduction. If he can't continue, you lose the fight. If a fighter grabs the fence, it's an automatic deduction. There's no warnings. Get rid of the fucking warnings. This is an easy problem to solve. I don't understand why we can't do this right now. Why can't we implement this right fucking now? How many times you see a guy gets poked in the eye? There's no warnings. We see guys get poked in the eyes 2-3 times and just get warnings. Groin strike, eye poke, fence grab, point deduction. If they can't continue because you poked in the fucking eye, you lose the fight. That's on you. If the guy can't continue because you kicked him so hard in the nuts, that's on you. You lose the fight. You lose half your purse. I guarantee you, if you make it more strict with no gray area, no warnings, I will promise you groin strikes, eye pokes, fence grabs go damn near completely away. But because we're in this gray area and guys can get away with it, they're fucking professional athletes. Professional athletes are going to push it as far as they can to gain an advantage in every sport. So if you allow them to do that, they're going to do it. But if there's no wiggle room, hey man, whether you accidentally, purposely, whatever it is, eye poke, fence grab, kick in the nuts, you're losing a fucking point. You automatically lose this round. It's so damaging to that fighter to lose a round. And if you do it hard enough where you lose the fight, I promise you they will be so conscious of it, it does not happen. This is not, I'm a fucking moron. And I figured this out early on. How does anybody not go, oh, guys, the whole eye gouging and groin strikes, it's not good. We have got to, there's no more warnings. Sometimes they warn the guy 4 or 5 times. This is so easy to solve. It's not even funny, dude. This one's a fucking given. But here we are. It's fucking 2025 and guys are still doing it. I don't get it. I do not get it. That's a simple issue to solve. Clearly your MVP of that fight night in Vancouver is Brendan Allen. Easily. No one gave him a huge shot against RDR. Obviously, RDR was supposed to fight Fluffy. That's the fight we wanted. Didn't end up happening. And then Brendan Allen. How gangster is this? You know, Brendan Allen and RDR were training at the same camp. RDR came in there. Brendan was already there. They were training. Brendan Allen, shout out to Brendan, great name. Brendan Allen refused to train with RDR because he knew somewhere down the line they were going to fight. He goes, nope, never helping that guy. So smart. He got it done. TKO, corner stoppage. Here's the thing with the stoppage. we live in this world where RDR is going to take shit for like the next, I don't know, 2 or 3 days max. And then the whole Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gahn thing is going to overshadow this and we're going to forget about it. But RDR has been fighting nonstop. He was sick, injured, right? And we know guys say this, but legit sick, injured, right? And takes this fight. Not too much to gain from it. I think he thought by taking this fight, he could get it done and get the title shot. And he's been on this freaking banshee of a run, right? Beating Kevin Holland, Mershart, Bo Nickel, then the Robert Whitaker one was wild. And then you get Brendan Allen, which, you know, not the biggest name, but tough as fuck. And he's like, I'll do it. And he's just been going nonstop, Dude, this is 4th fight in 2025. There's a reason why you don't see guys fight as frequently as you want. Like you'll see a champ fight once, max twice a year, unless you're Marab. That we can get to that later. But in general, in the heavier divisions, I'll say 155 and up. There's a reason why I don't see him continuously fighting. It's not healthy, especially if they're cutting weight and stuff like that. It's just in the injuries and you take time to heal. But also, and RDR is older, so it makes a little more sense. But in Marab too, but when you're constantly in training camp and constantly have upcoming fights and trying to fight so frequently, you're not working on skills. All you're doing is getting in the best possible shape while cutting weight and having whatever skill set you have and getting in amazing shape to go to battle. That's what you're doing. You're not adding or implementing anything new. So your growth comes in between the fights when you don't have something coming up. So when a guy's just running it nonstop, you'll see that, especially in the same year, they're not improving. They're fucking good, but there's no wrinkles in their skill set. They can't. There's not enough hours in the day because you're getting ready for this fight. So training camp, you're not working on new shit. You're working on whatever you have skill set wise, enforcing that against your opponent. That's the game plan. And you're constantly working that and getting in shape, getting ready for, and then what you're doing is whatever he's good at, you're defending that. That's all. That's what training camp is. You're not adding any new tools. You can't. There's not enough hours in the day. So eventually it's going to catch up to you. Eventually, and then also with the weight cutting, the constant training, the cardio, the dieting, it's going to catch up with you. And for RDR, it caught up with him. So I know a lot of people go, oh, the guy has quit in him, stuff like that. I don't know if I'd say that. I wouldn't go that far. You're talking about a guy who's a 2-division champ in a major organization, and then he's been doing it for a hot second, has a lot of fights. You got to give some of these guys a little leeway. RDR is one of them. You look at his resume, there's never been signs of quitting him ever before. I think his corner basically said, I mean, look at the guy. He's lost a fucking the heavyweight, champion of one championship in Malakin, But I think his corner went, all right. Second round and on, Brendan took over. Big B took over. Little Brown took over. After second round on, it wasn't looking good for RDR. So his team went, man, on the stool, they're like, he has nothing left. We can send him out there to go out on a shield so the fans are like, yay. Or we can save our fighter, live to fight another day. There's nothing that's going to come out of this in a positive aspect to send him out there. He has nothing left. And now he said he had some virus. He has other injuries. His corner knows him. You got to kind of go, all right, I get it. I know we all want to see him get KO'd and fucking light shut out. It's just not, his corner did a good thing here. Live to fight another day. Now the question is, did Brendan Allen do enough to get the title shot? And I hear Hamzat calling out Alex and calling out all these big boy fights. Buddy, you got so many contenders in your division. Like you got to dominate that division before you jump over. You have to. I know the money's in these super fights, but you look how many fights Alex had in the middleweight division, then he jumps to light heavyweight, and now he's jumping to heavyweight, you have to dominate your division for at least 4 fights. And especially if these are contenders you haven't fought. Like, he's such a new champ. I hate when new champs call out other guys in other divisions. It's like, buddy, you got so much shit to do. That's why I appreciate Merab. You don't really hear him calling out other weight classes, you know? But yeah, RDR is going to take some shit for about 1 to 2 days. It'll be a shit storm, shit sandwich. And then the fan base and everybody moves on. That's how this goes. Just stay offline for a little bit and then get back to work, dude. Take a break. Let the division kind of figure itself out and jump back in there. You're still 1 away. Because he comes back, dominates again. Now we start talking. Good graces. Gets back into it. It's not the end of the world. I think you do Brendan Allen and Fluffy. And the winner of that gets the title shot.
Yeah.
Our boy Cheeto, man. I thought he won the fight, but doesn't matter, does it? Let's take a little break here because champions are made and legends are tested at UFC 321. Brings you Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gahn to the world, and it's a juicy one. At DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the UFC, puts all the action in the palm of your hand. New customers, say less. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get paid out 300 bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code SCHAUB. That's code SCHAUB to turn $5 into 300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
All right, what do you got, Jen?
Let's see. I was gonna say something stupid.
What?
I was gonna say he stayed on the RDR stayed on the thing to save that hostage's life. They got some. You know what I'm talking about? That hostage, that rumor that's going around the phone. As Brendan Allen's like walking out.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah.
Let's start with that. So someone was saying this guy, so when Brendan Allen's walking out, if you guys haven't seen this, when Brendan Allen's Jesus Christ, when Brendan Allen's walking out at UFC Vancouver during the live broadcast, some gentleman leans over and shows his phone. It looks like a murder victim.
Yeah. It looks creepy as hell.
It looks creepy. People are saying, is this a serial killer? Could it be a serial killer? And then some people thought it was like an old Brendan Allen fight where he got knocked out. I sent to you, Chen, I'm like, dude, I love serial killer shit. I'm like, whoa, was this a serial killer in Vancouver? Which is such this is Reddit for you. Such an extreme jump. It's like, whoa. Guy flashes a body line down. We're like, serial killer. You wish, Playboy. What's the truth?
Well, I mean, right now, there's no major media that's putting it out, but a lot of people are saying that it's, some people recognize this as a scene in a TV show or a movie, right? And then people are saying that the police are actually investigating this guy, all that stuff, but nothing is like,
I saw one fan was like, I was there from across. They showed the guy. It's like a young guy. Definitely doesn't look like a serial killer. Looks like a UFC bro.
I mean, there's tons of it could be, these guys are just, talking about it. It could be this guy is the one that wants this person saved. He knows about something, all the stuff starts popping off.
It's fun though.
Yeah. It made it, dude. And the first time I saw it, they had this like creepy music behind it and it made it that much more freaking interesting.
Love that shit.
But it's
how crazy. But let's just entertain with this. What if it is a serial killer? How fucking this be a movie? Mm-hmm. It's weird.
Yeah.
Good for Brendan Allen, though.
There's a lot of attention on this now.
That gets more attention than anything.
I know. This is sad news. Duke Rufus, he passed away. And the thing is, you can't find what the cause is. So I'm guessing it's, I'm I'm just guessing it's possibly suicide, but I don't know. No, actually, you know what? Hold on. Shit. I heard some podcast say like he died peacefully
In his sleep.
In his sleep, yeah. So never mind. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because he's only 55 years old.
Yeah, one of the things when you've been doing it as long as I have and you've been in the game, found out about this the minute it happened from, I won't say the source, but they're involved in certain stuff. And yeah, it's a shame, man. He's only 55. He's 55. Always nice to me. Always nice. Just a pioneer. Obviously, his brother, one of the greatest kickboxers of all time, especially from North America. 55, dude. That's not that old.
No.
Brian's 3 years older than that.
And it's sudden too.
Yeah, it's tough for guys like Anthony Pettis. He kind of was a father figure for Anthony.
Big time.
Paul Felder. Like there's a lot of boys. Woodley. He was such a staple in this UFC fraternity, man. You hate to see it. His poor family too, man.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, he's such a good guy.
Okay. This is official now. Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva, and they're going to be under that same card as Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah, I think this hurts Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Really?
I think it's already kind of a shit show. Usually my take on this stuff when it's a older UFC fighter or UFC fighter with these big names, when they do these super fights, I'm like, get your bag. I get it, dude. Trust me, I get it. If Logan or Jake Paul ask me to fight, I'm fucking in. But I'm always like, get your bag. But Anderson Silva's getting like 10 or 15 million from the anti-lawsuit. Like, that's your bag. I assume you're good, or unless you're just living a life we're unaware of. Like, but then also these guys are older. They want something to do, fight another guy, and also for them, like, hold up, we can co-main event Jake Paul, Gervonta Davis. I get it. I'm not interested in watching it. It doesn't add any value to that broadcast in any facet, but we know Silva's getting a huge bag. Weidman's probably getting a fucking tasty bag too.
Yeah.
I know how much my dumbass is getting, and it ain't nothing to fucking, blink an eye at. It's pretty tasty. And Weidman had more fights than I did, I think, during that time. So he's getting a tasty bag too. I assume they're making good money on this because that's one thing about Jake Paul's promotion. They do pay well generally. So get your bag, do your thing, but hopefully nobody gets hurt. I don't want to see anybody get fucking cold cocked and KO'd. I don't want to see anybody get flatlined. Hopefully, you know what? Hopefully that's a boring ass decision.
This is for a past fight.
Yeah, he's making 10, 15 times that for this. 10 times that. 10 million payout from the UFC. Yeah, get your money, boys. Hopefully it's a boring ass decision. Nobody gets hurt. Nobody breaks a fucking leg. That's what I want for them. Hopefully people tune in and it's nobody gets hurt. Nobody gets fucking flatline. It's a boring fight and they make their money.
But why'd you say it was going to hurt Jake Paul? And
It's kind of already like this circus.
oh, because it makes it look even wilder.
And he wants to be so solidified in boxing. Like, that ain't gonna do it. But he's like, yeah, we just want as many eyeballs as possible. I'm trying to go for big views, which this might do it. Like, my dad sees, like, holy shit, I'm tuning in, Yeah. Or like the guy up the street at fucking Summer Moons, I'm like, holy shit, Weidman Silva 3 boxing, take my money, So hopefully it goes well for him. I just want to make as much money as possible and nobody get hurt. That's what I want for these legends.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
tune in, basically.
Yeah, support our boys, old school boys. We talked about this last week, but Frankie Edgar, remember, he got taken off the card for BKFC. And this is Frankie explaining. It's pretty much, you were on point with what Frankie's saying as well. I'll just play the clip for you, though.
thought BKFC had something. Like, I was like, wow, this is pretty entertaining. They got something. But not if they treat fighters like this, bro. Because I'll tell you what, fighters out there, beware.
I'm glad you're speaking out. I'm glad you didn't go away quietly because people want to know. You know, as soon as they were putting promotional stuff out without your face on it, people were hitting me up like,
it's just shady, bro.
Yeah.
That's shady. And look, it's the fight game. I mean, we should know that shady shit happens. But I would say, I mean, you never heard any stories of like this in the UFC. And if you heard stories of like this in the UFC probably wouldn't be where it is today. You know, so I'm just saying, I don't know what BK's in it.
He doesn't say what happened, though.
He does. Well, he's saying the same theory that you're saying.
What?
That he goes, I don't know for a fact, but they use him basically to, you know, for all the attention. And then when they realize the ticket sales aren't going to be that high, they're like, you're the most highest paid on the card, most likely, right?
Yeah, we're going to lose money.
So we're going to lose money. So we're going to give you this other check that's a decent amount, but then you're not going to be on the card.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Because they would have paid him way more. If, you know,
they'd have to if he fought. But my only thing is, I have no clue. Mm-hmm. I don't know the inner workings of BKFC. I don't know the inner workings or deal with Frankie. I don't know if it's true or not. Somebody told me he failed medicals where it wasn't safe for him to fight.
Yeah, that's what Feldman said, the president. And then Connor. Oh, here's another thing. This is what Connor said about it.
Connor says, I just want to say about the Frankie Edgar situation, I'm very upset for Frankie. I'm sure he's devastated. Health is paramount here. We'll address it and we will reevaluate and see where we go. Hopefully we can get Frankie in here at another date.
So he mentioned the health thing. So, I mean, there has to be some validity to the whole health thing, but I don't know what.
You can't take Conor McGregor's word for it.
No, I'm saying they're going to hold on to something.
We need Frankie to say, come out and be like, I passed all medicals.
Oh, just listen, hear him out here.
And honestly, I want to be more mad and more pissed off about it, but I just can't let it consume me that much. But like, yo, you guys dogged me in my home fucking state. That's crazy. Like, that's fucked up if you think about it. Absolutely. Like, they came to me. I did everything they wanted to, by the way. I went to every fucking promotion. I hosted a fucking watch party. I went to the Devils game. I did podcast after podcast promoting the fight.
We missed the podcast because you had to go to Prudential on a Tuesday and promote it.
Yeah, so I've been doing everything for them. So that's. I thought BKFC had something. Like, I was like,
see, he doesn't address it.
No, he does.
No, he didn't.
Wrong clip. No, he goes, I think it's because of that.
Because medicals?
Yeah, they're saying it's medicals, but it's not. He goes, Jersey, I've been getting medicals at the same place every time.
That doesn't matter.
And then somehow
you did it when you were younger, Frankie. And I'm not saying they didn't fuck over. I'm saying I don't fucking know. Let me see.
Oh, no, that's the
Oh, okay.
one.
Yeah, from the owners, that doesn't. If Frankie says, I passed all the medicals, I have the proof. Like, if I'm Frankie and you want to shut BKFC up and prove your point, post the medicals that you passed them.
Yeah.
Because BKFC, Frank Edgar was pulled from BKFC due to medical issues. Though he claims he passed all his medicals cleared by a New Jersey Commission doctor. He believes the promotion BKFC used the medical issues as an excuse, possibly to save money, and alleges that never sent his final medicals to the commission to begin with. So Edgar medicals, Edgar stated he completed all the necessary physical exams. That doesn't mean you passed them.
With each doctor,
A doctor that reviewed them told me he was fantastic, had a clean bill of health. But then BKFC claims, despite Edgar's reports, BKFC President David Feldman said that after reviewing Edgar's medicals, their chief medical officer was not comfortable clearing him for the fight.
And then there's this theory.
I love fucking Frankie. I like BKFC too. But all Frankie has to do is release or get that doctor to say, yeah, he passed all of them. Mm-hmm. From our end, which is all we need, New Jersey Athletic Commission, if Frankie posts, hey, passed all of them, and then if BKFC goes, well, our in-house doctor didn't pass it, well, then we're dealing with some shadiness. But if the New Jersey Athletic Commission didn't pass him, then you got to back off BKFC. They're doing the right thing here.
Yeah, I do remember Frank saying that it never even got to them. So there's something shady there.
Again, all Frank has to do is, and he can get
show proof.
Medicals. Yeah. If he posts the medicals, like, I did all of them, I passed all of them. But then this in-house doctor saying I didn't pass them, then we have an issue. So this is Frank saying, I was trained for 6-7 weeks. I got a week out from the fight. We get an email. My manager gets an email from someone from BKFC stating that the owner of BKFC is leaving for Manchester. He doesn't have a phone on him. He can't call you, but I'll call you eventually. But in the meantime, his doctor recommended I don't fight based on my age, consecutive TKO losses, my life, and my record, which sounds fugazi. That was before he even seen my medicals, this doctor or anything, which is kind of crazy. And the fact they set me up a week before. If it's true as the week before, like, buddy, we know Frankie's history. I mean, it's well documented way before a week before the fight.
And he's never not passed.
So all of a sudden, this doctor, yeah, all right, Frankie.
So if you're in his position, would you?
I'd be pissed.
Would you sue?
No, I'm not going to sue. No one wins in that. But what I would do is post the medical records and be like, look, I passed him from the New Jersey State Athletic perspective. Because then it makes BKFC look even worse. If you're like, and this in-house doctor week before the fight is worried about me when I agreed to this months ago.
And so Edgar
claims that even though he sent the results of his medical test to BKFC, they never made it to the commission.
Okay, so all the tests, he said all the doctors said it was great.
Man, Frankie has those. Just post pictures online. Be like, look, this is me passing all of them. Because then the whole narrative is, all right, well, Frankie passed, but this in-house doctor, who obviously is looking out for the BKFC, says I didn't pass him, and that it makes it pretty clear. That's all you got to do. I don't know who's right here. I don't know. It looks like Frankie might be right, but to give BKFC credit, if they're like, dude, no, we got the medicals. They were not good. So a week before the fight, we didn't feel comfortable with it. Then that's good fight biz, which is rare, super rare.
He says, I got a call from someone there. They said, I had the doctor from the commission look at your medicals, and you look fucking fantastic. No changes in white brain matter.
He goes, I don't know if you plan on doing anything, but you can tell your wife and family you've got a clean bill of health if you choose to fight more. Yeah, that's what's weird. He goes, I wasn't even thinking about fighting. They came to me. I ignored them once. They came to me again. Then my manager at BKFC come up. Then my manager and BKFC came up with a deal. He gave me a number. It was a fucking pretty high number. I said no. They come back and gave me a number that I would do it for, which is a very significant amount of money. That's the only fucking reason I got off the couch. Granted, once you woke up the beast, that's all I wanted to do was fight. It wasn't about the money I wanted to fight, but I'm not going to do it for nothing either. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I'm Frankie, just to pipe all this matter down, just post the medicals, bud. That makes this pretty easy. Because they are your medicals. So all those medical exams he's had done, they're yours. It's not like they can withhold that information. He could call each one and be like, hey, can you scan me a copy of my medicals? And then just post a picture of you passing it. Mm-hmm. That shuts all this down. That's all you got to do.
By the way, how long is that process when you get your medicals?
It's a fucking nightmare.
Is it like hours?
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, days.
Oh, shit.
Because you can't do all of them in a day. So it's usually, takes about a week to get all done. It's such a hassle.
Damn, that's got to suck even more.
You can knock out one or two in a day, but, there's a bunch you got to get done, especially if you're older.
Yeah. All right, speaking of money, Jorge Masvidal sued FanMio, and then he won the judgment for $5 million. Because they didn't pay him like a good chunk.
They didn't pay him or Nate.
Oh yeah, so Nate sued them as well.
Yeah, and none of them got paid.
So they're so even though they got the judgment in their favor, I don't know how that works.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, all FanMio, where the fuck it is. Mm-hmm. Obviously, don't fight for FanMio. But all FanMio has to do is declare bankruptcy, and they don't pay it. Yeah. So those boys are never seeing that money, unfortunately.
They did at least Jorge got $1 million
up front,
and 500-something thousand for something else, but.
This is similar. This is a similar thing. If what Frankie's saying about BKFC, like this FanMio promised all this money, thought it was gonna be bigger than it did. It didn't do well, and then they're like, "Oh fuck, we owe like $10 million still to these two."
Yeah,
and then they don't have the money. That's how this goes. they projected it to do better. They didn't read the fucking room. It doesn't do well, but then they still owe them this money. And then I don't think it's that it's shitty business, but they literally don't have the money. Yeah. So then you're fucked. This is on their managers.
Alrighty.
Like, you got to protect those guys so they can't back out if it doesn't go well, you know? Mm-hmm. Get a more guarantee up front and pay before you enter the ring. What's this?
All right, this is Tom Aspinall talking about what if Netflix offered him some sort of deal for something that has to do with him. He would, even if it was for $50 million, he would turn it down because, you know, it gets in the way of all your training and all that stuff. The fighting is more important to him, is what he's saying. But I'll just play it for you.
A Netflix documentary for $50 million while I'm still actively fighting. No chance. You're going to pay me enough money to do it. 100% committed to my craft. 100%. I wouldn't do a Netflix documentary for $50 million while I'm still actively fighting.
I love Tom, but my question is, did they even offer you a mill? You know? It's like me being like, dude, I would never do OnlyFans and show my dick, even for $50 million. Ain't nobody asking, Bubba. You know? I would never show my wiener on OnlyFans, not even for fucking $1 million.
I mean,
did they offer it to you? No, but I wouldn't do it. You know, like, yeah, Netflix ain't paying Netflix didn't pay Joe Rogan $50 million to do a special. Netflix didn't pay fucking Chris Rock $50 million to do their special. They ain't paying $500,000 for a documentary. You know what I'm saying?
He's just trying to make a point, though. Like,
I get the point, but it's like, okay.
I have a feeling, though, if they offered him $50 million, without a doubt, he's taking that.
100% he's taking it.
Here's another statement he made. He said he would vacate his title if his buddy who he trains with, who's in the UFC, if the UFC offered him the title fight, he would vacate his belt.
They say it now.
Yeah.
Me and Shane Carwin had this agreement. Like, we came up together. He was the interim champ. I just beat fucking Crow Cop. He beat Frank Mayer. So he was the interim champ. I beat Crow Cop to get ranked in the top 10. So it's a possibility. And we were eating after training, and he goes, dude, you win one or two more, what are we going to do? And I said, and you still have the belt? He goes, yeah, we fight each other.
You said that?
Yeah, and he goes, 100, and he agreed. He's like, 100%. Because when you fight for a title, it's life-changing money.
Yeah.
Now, if, let's say he lost, which he did, so he loses the next one, so he lost to Brock, and then they go, hey, fight Shane, whatever, number 10 versus number 3, it'd be good for me, but it's not for a belt. It's still not life-changing. Well, I'm not doing that. If he has the belt, I'd fight my mom if she had the belt at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just going to change my kid's life. So I never liked this, and it's also not real, because if his buddy, who we don't really know, if his buddy comes up the ranks and he's like the next big thing and there's all this hype on him and Tom's the champ, y'all going to fight. Y'all going to fight.
So,
and that guy has a long ways to go.
Yeah.
He just won his first fight. Now,
in UFC, yeah.
Big fight. Performance of the night, too. So, and he's 26-6. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of experience there. And the heavyweight division's pretty, light. So he's 2 or 3 big wins away for being in the top 5, like how light the division is. So that's a possibility. But we'll see let's see how Tom reacts when Netflix offers him $50 million for a documentary.
Yeah.
And let's see how he reacts when his boy, what's his name?
Ante Delia,
who's beat Henan Ferrer already. Like, this guy's going to be a problem. But let's see when Tom's champ and this guy's the only formidable opponent that anybody gives a fuck about. Let's see how it goes. Also, let's see what this guy says. Because this guy might be thinking something different. This guy has fucking 32 fights, dude. And this has been his dream. He's probably not balling. He's been fighting PFL and other bullshit leagues. He's been PFL, KSW. So he's had some good fucking wins, dude. Beat Ollie Thompson. Like, He has some big wins. This guy's fucking tough. So fighting M1, he's been all over. And then if he gets to the UFC, he starts making real money. Let's see how this basically long, dedicated journeyman who has a possibility to be the UFC champ, we haven't heard from him. That's why me and Shane, I was like, dude, if you have the belt and they offer me a title shot, we're fighting. He's like, 100%. And I bet you, me and Shane, I know, we're closer than Aljo and Marab, this dude and fucking Tom. Like, Shane was straight up like my big brother. And we agreed that we would fight each other. If it only for not the interim, legit belt, we'd fight each other. So let's see how this guy feels. Because he might be like, yeah, I love Tom, but I love my family more. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes.
I hear you.
Let's take a little break here, kids. If you want this ads completely out of here, if you want this show ad-free, join the Patreon right now. It's patreon.com/TFATK. Ad-free, tons of extra content on there. TFATK, extended episodes, and ad-free. Get you some. It's patreon.com/TFATK. We have a ton of stuff on there. It's only $5 a month. Get you some. But this episode of the Schaub Show is brought to you by Breeze. Let me tell you something about Breeze, spelled B-R-E-Z. It's an incredible functional beverage company revolutionizing how we drink. Their line of feel-good tonics are the perfect alcohol alternatives with an effect you'll actually feel. They use a small amount of THC, CBD, and functional mushrooms to create the fun effects without the traditional downsides of alcohol. Alcohol is so 90s, dude. And no, these aren't like your typical edibles. You'll feel each blend within 10 minutes. The effect will last about an hour and a half. Similar cocktail. You got this. It's mellow enough for your moms to try, but stackable if you're trying to get loose, daddy. They ship all across the United States. Head to feelthebreeze.com/Schaub. Use the code Schaub for a $5 credit and free shipping on your first order.
Consult with a physician before use. If you are pregnant, nursing, or have any known suspected allergies or medical conditions, or are taking any medication, FDA has not evaluated these products for safety or efficacy. Products are intended for 21 and over. Oh, this is just interesting. It says UFC 2025 financial report, top 5 earners. And Drukas was on top at 7.1 mil.
Champ, big fights, 2 pay-per-views. Alex, 2 pay-per-views. Marab with 3 lighter divisions. That makes sense. And Clive surprises me.
4 mil, yeah.
Yeah, making $2 million a fight. How about Hamzat? 1 fight, and he's 4th on the list. That boy getting paid. Basically making $3 million a fight. And he wasn't champ. That is surprising. There ain't an American even fucking close on that list, is there? What else you got, Jen?
Okay, this is from Ariel Helwani's show. Him talking to Mikey Musumeci about that bizarre thing that happened with UFC BJJ 3, where they only had a certain few thousand views, and it jumped to 9 million views within a matter of like a few days.
And the engagement doesn't equal the...
I think there's 25 comments.
Yeah.
With 9 million views. So here...
Let me hear it.
Yeah.
On the subject, might as well bring it up. A lot of people have been asking me because you were coming on today. So apparently this
Good for Ariel for
conspiracy
asking
about
this.
the UFC BJJ 3 YouTube video. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
So it went from 275K to 9 million over the course of a couple of days with very low engagement. This is now a hot story. Everyone's at, what do you make of this? What's going on here?
So first, I was just pumped. I started 9 million views. I'm like, yeah, I was just really happy that it got to 9. I don't really understand or know how that works, like pumping views on YouTube. UFC has millions of subscribers, but I don't really know anything about this. That's out of my pay grade, that tier of like doing things like that, right?
Can I throw out a hypothesis on my end?
Okay.
So I saw some people saying like, oh, look how pathetic the UFC is. They're buying views to prop up UFC BJJ. But let's be honest, it's the UFC.
Yeah.
They don't need to buy views.
Correct.
They're the freaking most dominant force in all of combat sports. So
And they
UFC
have so much money, right? Like they don't like. I don't know,
it's the third event. They're trying to build something new. Okay. Is it possible? I don't know, but is it possible you can buy views on someone else's page? You can attach those. Is it possible, Mikey, that someone bought views on the UFC page to then say, look at the UFC, they're frauds. Look at what they're doing.
Interesting.
Is that
like a setup? Like they planned?
Yes. Is that possible? I feel like that's a possibility.
conspiracy theory.
Who's paying attention to this sort of thing? I feel like someone might have planted it to then say, look at these frauds. Is that
Pause it.
possible? That feels more.
I was going to ask you about that too.
So I didn't know you can buy views on somebody else's page.
Yeah, can you?
That's the first I've heard of it. Ariel would know. I'm not saying he does that, but I don't know the landscape either.
If
like
he's saying it that confidently, he must know that.
Maybe
he can do that.
Maybe, but I think what people need to realize is UFC is such a conglomerate. It's so big now. It's not like Dana or someone close to him and his staff is going, man, let's buy some millions of views to make this prop up the numbers here. I don't think that's happening. There could be somebody that's associated with the UFC BJJ stuff that's not close to Dana and the UFC brass, and they've sold Dana on BJJ being this next big thing, the big wave. And man, if we just get a little help from you guys, this thing's going to crush. I bet we do millions of views, and they bought the views. And they might be older and don't realize that people can figure out that if you have whatever it is, 9 million views, but the engagement isn't showing that it's going to hurt your business more than it's going to help, especially in the algorithm of YouTube, because maybe not at first, but YouTube's eventually going to catch it. Eventually going to catch up and be like, hold up, you're buying views, and then they suppress all your shit. So the UFC wouldn't risk that for this, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's someone that they're not, I don't think somebody from the outside's like, yeah, let's buy views so the UFC looks shitty, because the UFC's like, we don't give a fuck. I think it's somebody that has some sort of self-interest in the UFC BJJ doing well, and they bought the views, to Ariel's point, to help this look better than it did, and didn't realize how it would look and people would figure it out. That's what I think happened.
Okay. I just did a quick Google. It says, yes, you can buy views for someone else's YouTube video, but it's a practice that violates YouTube's terms of service.
Yeah, and you might get away with it once or twice, and then once YouTube gets privy to it, they discipline you.
Yeah, makes sense. Here's another weird one. This is quote unquote leaked footage of Derek Moneybag rolling with Mikey Musumeci.
That was our advice. Just post you rolling, man, so we can see it. What did Strickland say here? Before
fully locked in,
734 pounds, 270. Bro couldn't even physically lock that choke if he wanted to, and he still can't see why people call him a con man. Keep scrolling up. What's the next comment? This dude will do anything other than compete at a local competition, rationalize his belt. Yep. Just do NAGA or something where people will probably leave you alone. Agree.
Okay. I'll just play real quick.
And I starting in a position where he's got a choke fully locked in.
He taps everyone with his choke, by the way.
Why don't they show the other side? The cameraman should get underneath so we can see the setup.
I'm training with Mike. He's nasty with his choke.
It's a very good choke. It's very difficult.
Very few people get out of this, including top black belts.
270-pound black belts?
This is a great scramble with.
Why does he have socks on? You know what? To Moneyberg's defense, at least he's posting some grappling. But again, to whoever that comment was, it would do wonders if he would just enter a local competition so we can see him against. I don't need to see him against Mikey. Mikey's 120 pounds soaking wet. That's not going to silence the noise. Just enter a local tournament or go to your local gym and film you against brown belts, purple belts, black belts. That would silence everybody. This actually adds to the narrative that it's not good.
Yeah, but me as a skeptic, if he went to a gym and started winning these matches, I would automatically think, well, he probably paid them in advance. But that's just me being a skeptic. Not that he would. I'm just saying.
But if he went into a gym, yeah.
Unless he knew no one.
That's what I'm saying. If he goes to let's say he rolled into fucking Six Blade here, didn't make any announcement, and was just like, hey, we cool, we film, and I don't even need them starting on the feet, just randomly rolling at like a Randori class, that would check the box for me. Because the issue is him and Mikey are close, right? I assume he pays Mikey. Like that's like when Brian Count thought he was doing good against his tennis instructor. I'm like, but you pay him? He goes, yeah, doesn't count. You know, like he can't be a guy. I'm not saying Mikey's doing thing intentionally here, but if you have a relationship and it's financial based, you can't post any video of those people. Whether it's real or not, it's not going to do what you think it's going to do.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do.
But get your bag, Mikey. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it seems like he's getting his
show
bag.
That check. Show that choke, dude.
So this is Merab. Oh, actually, right here. This is where Merab finds out that he
finds out on air
on Ariel Helwani's show that he's going to be headlining it against Peter Yan.
Let me see.
So this is very exciting, Merab. But as we sit here right now, breaking news, because Dana White just went on Instagram. They're telling me in my ear, and he just announced that you are the main event of. Let's dance, my friend. Let's dance. Yeah. How do we do it? How do we do it? Champion of the world, UFC 320. Yes, that's the pride of Georgia, the pride of Tbilisi, the pride of the bantamweight division. December 6th, UFC 323, T-Mobile Arena, main event, 4 title defenses in 2025.
That's wild.
Rematch against 50% Piotr Yan. Co-main event, Pantoja Van.
Why do you say 50% Peter Yan?
I think Peter Yan's mentioned something like I was only at 50%.
Rematch against 50% Peter Yan. That's awesome. God, Merab's a fucking beast.
Yep. And it says right here, he's set to make history to defend the title 4 times in a single year.
That's pretty impressive. But again, with his, I'm not taking anything away with his fighting style. Like he doesn't take any punishment. You know, like his fighting style, his skill set, like he's set up for a guy to, like this record's never going to be broken. Like he's the perfect guy to do this frequently because the fighting style takes 0 punishment. Like he could have fought the following weekend after the Corey Sandhagen fight. Like there's never a mark on his face ever. He didn't take any punishment ever.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
At some point, someone's gonna catch him, right? Because he's winning the same way constantly.
Maybe.
Yeah. All right. What do you think of this? Henry Cejudo versus Peyton Talbot. So obviously Peyton Talbot's that crazy up and coming dude that
yes,
yeah, and then he lost.
Close with Frank Ocean, he lost, but then came back and looked great with the takedown defense. We'll see. That this one's always like we know what the UFC is doing here, right? You're trying to take the rub off Cejudo and bring it on to Talbot. That's how much they love Talbot. Tough fight for Talbot. We'll see what condition Cejudo comes into the fight as. I mean, man, the tossing Talbot into some fucking deep water, you know? Because you beat Henry, where do you go from there? Like, you're talking about possibly the greatest combat sports athlete to ever do it with his gold medal and then the UFC 2 division champion.
He has so many accomplishments.
So many accomplishments. So you beat a guy like that, there's only one way to go. I would argue he's not ready for this, even if he beats Henry, who's an older Henry. So, but again, I just, is it too much too soon? Like he just lost that fight. His takedown defense wasn't great. You know, there's some holes in his game. Like let him continue to grow because he is a star. He's also one of the guys that doesn't subscribe to this new UFC model. You're not going to see him doing TikTok dances. He's not posting, you know, him and his guy, whatever the fuck he's into. He's not posting his vacation. He's not posting his food. Like he's cut from the old cloth. Like he's mysterious, you know, which is dope. I just don't get where you go from here with a young star like this. Like the UFC's always been, especially after the issues with Darren Till, you see how Till's looking now. Like they've been great at not pushing guys too soon. And this is too soon. And I'm not saying he can't beat Cejudo. I'm not saying that. I'm saying after you beat a guy of Henry Cejudo's status, there's only one way to go, and it ain't good for this young fighter who's 1-2 in his last two. I don't see the upside. And for Henry Cejudo, like he says, this is his last fight. You give him his last fight should be another king. His last fight should have been a guy like Jose Aldo or like somebody of that stature. But the UFC's going, no, we need to get the rub, and then we're going to do it with this young fella. I get that, but do we really think Talbot, like, has he shored up? Has he sealed all those gaps in his game? Now, he might get past Henry Cejudo. And if he does, dude, he has a long ways to go. So I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah. So
for Henry, it does. Let's say Henry mollywops him. Okay. You're one of the greatest to ever do it, dude. You beat some young kid. Okay. It doesn't add to his resume. He loses. Okay. He lost to Peyton Talbot, dude. This up and comer. Hopefully it works out for him. We don't know. For Talbot, you win. Okay. What's Henry rank right now?
Let's take a look. 10.
Okay. So let's look at the next guys. Where's the easy fight at, dude? I don't like it. There's still a long ways to go. You're beating one of the greats who's ranked 10 at that. It's not like he's out of the top 10. He's ranked 10. Well, now you can't fight 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, which we don't even know if you're in the top 15. So you beat number 10. You're beating Zabib? No, he's on to bigger fish. Mario Batista, he fights this weekend. We'll see what happens there. Cheeto, Figueiredo, Song Yadong, Corey Sandhagen, Peter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where the fuck do we go? It's insane, dude. You're fucking the kid over. And I thought they learned from their mistakes. This is a fucking nightmare for this young kid who is 1-2 at his last fucking fights, man. You're literally ruining this young budding fucking young lion. Now I'm not Henry Cejudo. It might be a decent matchup for him. Fuck all that. What do we do after this? If the plan, all right, you beat Henry Cejudo because he says he wants one more. It makes sense timing wise, but it doesn't mean you're launching the top 10. You're going to be ranked top 15. I don't like it. He still has a few more fights to go before you start making the sprint. Before you start messing with the big dogs, because you're not getting paid like a big dog. Those next guys he's going to fight are fucking killers, dude. He just doesn't have enough experience yet. I don't like it.
Oh, so this is a rumor now. Ilya Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett for January, which is
it's the first Paramount
very
card.
soon, yeah.
I told you guys, if you listen to this show, I told you, I have a very close inside source that tells me it's Paddy and Topuria. So all the Gaethje gossip, all that shit, my sources told me that this is the fight they want to make. This is the fight they're going to make. I told you this months ago. Don't let them honey dick you think it's somebody else. It's Paddy Topuria. That's it.
Oh, how about this? California State Athletic Commission votes to approve support for the Ali Revival Act.
Of course, they're in the UFC's pocket. They always have been.
So that's pretty big. That's a huge thing.
Completely fucks over the fighters.
And this is just Raul Rosas Jr. talking about his fighting career. He wants to retire by the age of 25.
How old is he now?
I think he's 19. Maybe even 20.
He might be 20 now.
Yeah.
Say 5 years. Yeah, that's a good plan. Get in, get out, Bubba.
Youngest ever.
Don't hang around. I like that plan. He has some work to do. You know, there's a ways to go, but 5 years he could do it. Great plan. Love the haircut.
He's got a lot of. I got to say, he does have style. If you see him, like,
Yeah, he's
the way
cool.
he's dressed.
Yeah, I like that kid.
That's not a big deal. So there's another thing that Shavkat's manager saying that they should be back in early 2026, so January, February for Shavkat Rakhmonov.
That's a bummer. It's a bummer.
This was Reiner de Ritter's coach, pretty much speaking on behalf of Reiner RDR after the fight.
He says, friends, fans, and supporters, I normally don't share personal things on here, but I feel I owe a little explanation to everyone who's been behind us. First of all, thank you for amazing support, but last night didn't go as we wanted. After a very strong start in the first round, things quickly started fading, and we couldn't really recover from the shots. And after the second round, I made the call to stop the fight after the fourth round. I take full responsibility for that decision. It was the right call to make for me in the moment. It's not a decision I ever wanted to make, but I guess sometimes you have to. My job as a coach is super boring. My job as a coach, but also to look out for my fighter's health.
So
I've been with RDR my whole career. Saw too many signs that made me want to step in. Yeah, if I didn't do it, it would have. If I didn't do anything, he would have continued the fight rather than risk unnecessary damage. I said to call it a day and go home as healthy as possible. Live to fight another day. Yeah, I agree. I don't care about pleasing others when it comes to someone's health or being tough, which he already is. Zero excuse for the loss. We knew what we were going in for. We were not happy with his performance, but for now, recovery first. Yep. Is that it, Chin?
that's pretty much it.
All right. You got UFC 321 this weekend, kids. Get you some. It's at 1 p.m. Central Time. So for you dads out there who don't want to stay up late, this one's for you. It is a tasty main card. Is it worth your money? I think so, but that's up to you, man. It's getting expensive out there. Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane going down. Like I said, all the pressure's on Tom. Not only does he have to win, but he has to do it in more impressive fashion than John Jones did to keep this narrative going. So all the pressure on Tom Aspinall. Good luck, my man. I think he gets it done. Let's see how fast and how convincing it really is. Rooting for Mackenzie Dern for a million variety of reasons. Let's go, Mackenzie Dern. Get it done, mama. All right, kids, that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all this stuff. Love you guys. If you see me, come say what's up. I'm out.